Hey everybody, I'm coming to you today to discuss 5 pros and cons of living in Louisville, Kentucky. And I have been here since December of '96. And when I came, really the internet was just kind of starting. So we didn't have any way to really research it. My job had transferred me here. So prior to coming, about a month in advance, I was afforded a trip down here. I was young, didn't know much about anything, and just was really looking for a place to live. That I spent the weekend doing that. So I wasn't high enough to really get, the full roll out the red carpet or anything. So I'm going to go over some pluses and minuses of living in Louisville. And my first one is that if you're an investor, there's still a lot of opportunity for buying investment properties. So and when I say investor, I'm talking about real estate. So if you want to invest in real estate, you can find properties. I'm in 2 different investment groups. One is called KREIA, KREIA, Kentucky Real Estate Investors Association, and so they will help you to just learn where to look. We call it driving for dollars. There's all those different types of ways, but I have literally bought a house for $600. Now there's a whole story behind that, and it was a mess in the end. But had my husband been a little more patient, it wouldn't have looked like that. I've bought houses for $4,000. I've, bought them for $14,000. So it just depends what you want to do. What do you want to put into it? So it is still a pretty investor friendly environment. The labor market is a little tough to get people to work, obviously. So sometimes you have to be patient. But of course, the more you do, then the more opportunities there are to keep certain crews that are good busy. And the one of the downsides to being an investor in real estate is that they now are doing a mandatory rental registry. They had rolled it out in 2016, and then it kind of went away. I didn't really hear much about it, and now they revamped it, and they are actually putting teeth in it now. They went to my sister-in-law's, one of her properties the other day, and they put a citation on it because she wasn't registered. She has till the end of the month to do so, and then it'll go away. So they're not making you. They also said something about getting a tour and getting inside, but that's not mandatory. But they word it so it's a little bit scary if you're get intimidated easy. So there's a rental registry. The cost of living here is still pretty good, even with inflation. Rents have gone up a lot. So because there's a low supply of rental houses, the rents are really robust right now. So if you're a renter, they're not great. If you're a landlord, they're super great. So moving on to number 2 is that we have a lot of variety of food here. We are a foodie town. But the one thing I see on like the Facebook groups is that well, if you really want such and such food, you need to go to New York. And if you really want this, you need to go to Chicago. Well, we're not in Chicago, but this is as close as it can be. And there's people that say, no, it is just as good as such and such a place in New York or Chicago. So we do have a variety. The downside is that there's so many different types of restaurants, and so many restaurants, you almost can't hit them all. So every time I see a new one, I'm like, ooh, I need to go to that one. So if you're a foodie, if you like to eat out, we have plenty. If you don't, then you're probably going to wonder why all these people are at these restaurants. So moving on to number 3 is the Kentucky Derby. I do know people that will leave Louisville during the Derby. They do not like all the crowds because all of the tourists or visitors for the Derby, they take over the town. So there's parades, and I have videos if you want to watch them, but I have other videos talking about the things that happen during the Derby. And it's 2 weeks prior to the Derby that it's really busy. And then there's events really starting right at the first of the year because they train for the marathon and things like that. But so if you like horses, you like crowds, you like the pomp and circumstance of the Kentucky Derby, it's great. People fly in, of course, from all across the world for it. There's multiple nights now. Now we have the Derby, of course, on Saturday, but then there's the Oaks on Friday. There's Thurby on Thursday. So there's racing all week. So some people, because maybe they can't afford or don't want as many crowds as that are on there, that are there, excuse me, on Saturday, they might go earlier in the week, when racing starts. So that would be a possible plus or minus, just depending on what type of person you are and what you like. So hopefully I'm providing you some value when I do these videos. That is my goal. And my name is Margaret Weathers, and I am with Coldwell Banker McMahon. My number is 502-664-9971. And I would hope that if you need any help, if you want to move to Louisville, that you would reach out to me. And my email is margaret@margaretsmoving.com. And moving on to number 4, the weather. The weather, it's kind of the old, if you don't like it, wait 5 minutes, it'll change. It's maybe not that bad, but I did kill a mosquito and have snow in the same day about a month ago. I couldn't believe it. It was 70 some degrees. I killed a mosquito. I was thinking, damn, I thought these things were gone by now, right? And then it snowed that night. So we do have, kind of bipolar weather. People complain about it. It doesn't bother me. I'm from the north. So I really enjoy not having 6 months of winter because we do have all 4 seasons. So if you're a person that wants it hot all the time, this is not for you, because we do have, cold. Like right now, I think it's in the 30s today. Might be 40, but I think it's cold. Getting towards the end of next week, we'll be in single digits, and it'll even be minus with the wind chills. So we do have all 4 seasons, and if you like that, then that's just great. I like all 4 seasons. But if you're a person that just wants it hot, then I wouldn't think you're going to want to come here, because we do have all 4. And they are true seasons. It's not typically, it's not 1 week of summer like Wisconsin has 1 week of summer. And then my final pro and con is sports. If you are not a sports fan, you may not have that much fun, because it's a sports town. While we don't have professional like hockey, baseball, basketball, or football, we don't have the big 4. We have we have PGA championships here. We have college basketball is very dominant. College football has really gained in dominance the last 10 years, with both UK and U of L, rising to some levels of stardom per se. We have quite a few players that came out of those schools that are in the NFL. Same thing with basketball, obviously. And so if you don't like sports, football is a big deal here with the Catholic schools, field hockey, Catholic schools with the boys, of course, and then like field hockey with the girls and volleyball with the girls. So there's constantly some kind of sports going on. You'll hear it. I mean, the sportscasters are a big deal here, but it won't be if you want like a typical town that has professional basketball. We don't have that, but the college program is pretty robust in Kentucky. So you can get probably more reasonable prices, especially now than because Louisville's kind of having a rough year, but than you used to. But it still can be something that you do. There's a lot of like skating rinks and ice skating and roller skating. So, different kinds of sports, obviously, as well. So sports are a big part of the culture in Louisville. So hopefully I've given you some things to think about if you're contemplating moving to Louisville, Kentucky, and hopefully you would reach out to me. I love to be of assistance in that, getting you here. Obviously, as you can see over my shoulder, I do own a moving company as well, so I can catch you on both sides. My number again is 502-664-9971. Again, 502-664-9971. My name is Margaret Weathers. I'm an email at margaret@margaretsmoving.com. And if you could, go ahead and like, share, and comment. Thanks. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.